I stood on my doorstep, bone-tired from a 20-hour flight, jet lag fogging my brain like a bad dream. My key wouldn't turn. I jiggled it, tried again, then gave up and set my suitcase down. Peering through the window of my Airbnb property, I froze. There, sprawled on my couch, sipping what looked like my La 50 bottle of Italian red, was a woman with a sleek brunette bob. She looked way too comfortable in my saw house. I rapped on the glass, and she jolted, nearly spilling the wine. Her eyes narrowed as she recognized me from neighborhood meetings. "This is my saw place now," she called through the window, her voice dripping with smugness. "Squatters' rights." She waved a piece of paper that looked official, like something you'd see in a courtroom drama. My stomach churned. I knew her, Laura Hensley, the HOA president who'd been flooding my inbox with snarky emails about my unacceptable navy blue exterior paint for months. Was this a prank? A sick joke? My hand shook as I pulled out my phone and hit record. Laura's face twisted, but she brushed it off with a flick of her wrist. "Film all you want," she sneered. "I've been here 30 days. You abandoned this place. It's legal. Look it up." What Laura didn't know was that I wasn't some clueless landlord. My security cameras, installed before I left for a 3-month work gig in Tokyo, had caught every move she'd made. Her little reign of terror was about to crash and burn. 2 years ago, I bought this house in Willow Creek, a quiet suburb 20 minutes from downtown. Housing prices had dipped, and I saw an opportunity. I poured my heart into renovating it. New stainless steel appliances, chic decor that popped in Airbnb photos. Within weeks, the place was booked solid, covering the mortgage and then some. Everything was golden until Laura took over the HOA 6 months back. She ran unopposed, preaching about community standards and property values. What that really meant was turning our lives into a rulebook nightmare. No street parking after 8 p.m. No trash cans out for more than 6 hours. No Christmas lights before December 1st. And her latest obsession? Banning short-term rentals like mine. While I was in Japan, my property manager, Mike, called with bad news. Laura's HOA was slapping me with violation notices, claiming my Airbnb was degrading the neighborhood. Our bylaws didn't ban short-term rentals, but Laura didn't care. She was on a mission. Then, 3 weeks ago, my listing vanished from Airbnb. Mike found a cease and desist letter taped to the door. The next day, he landed in the hospital with appendicitis, Leah VYing the house unguarded. Laura, it turned out, had been waiting for a moment. Standing outside my own home, I called Mike, still recovering. Laura Hensley saw my house, saying she lives here. I said, my voice tight. "What?" Mike sounded floored. "She must have moved in after I got sick." "I'm so sorry, man." I asked if he'd given her a key or permission. "No way," he said. "She's been pushing the HOA to inspect illegal rentals, but we voted her down. She found another way in." My neighbor, Sarah, was watching from her driveway. I waved her over. "Oh, Tom, you're back," she said, relieved. "Laura told everyone you'd abandon the place. Said the HOA was managing it until ownership got sorted. She filed a noise complaint 2 weeks ago, then called the house abandoned. A locksmith showed up, and she started MOVYing in." Sarah frowned. It seemed fishy, but she had all this paperwork, citing squatters' rights and HOA rules. I thanked Sarah and dialed 911, keeping my voice steady as I explained. Laura stepped outside, arms crossed, looking like she owned the world. "You're trespassing," she said, talking to me like I was a kid. "I've established residency. You're harassing me. I'll call the cops myself." I clenched my jaw. "I saw this house, Laura. I've got the deed and mortgage statements right here. You broke in and changed my locks while I was gone." She didn't flinch. "I didn't break in," she snapped. "I've got a lease agreement and 30 days residency. That's tenant protections under state law. You'll need to VYCT me, and good luck, that'll take months." When the police arrived, Laura was ready. She handed over a rental agreement with my signature forged in utility bills she'd somehow put in her name. She rattled off terms like adverse possession and tenant rights like a seasoned lawyer. The cops hesitated. "If she's been here 30 days, we can't remove her without an EVY tie-in order," one officer said. "This is a CIVYL matter." I couldn't believe it. This woman was sipping my wine, sleeping in my bed, and the police were shrugging. Anger surged, but I kept it together. Officers, I got security footage of her breaking in 2 weeks ago. That's not a tenant dispute, it's trespassing, fraud, and breaking and entering. Laura's smirk faltered. I pulled up the footage on my phone. There she was 14 days ago, creeping around, testing doors, then returning with a locksmith who looked uneasy. The timestamp killed her 30-day claim. Laura's voice went shrill. I had HOA permission. As president, I've got emergency access to properties violating standards. The senior officer shut her down. HOA authority doesn't let you enter private homes without consent or a court order. Ma'am, grab your essentials and leave. Now, Laura's face turned beet red. This is outrageous. I'll sue you all. But the cops escorted her out. They couldn't arrest her without a warrant, so they told me to change the locks and file a complaint. Laura stormed off to her real house a few blocks away. I called a locksmith and a real estate attorney, Rachel Carter, who didn't mess around. This isn't just HOA overreach, Rachel said after reviewing my EVY denke. We're talking criminal trespassing, forgery, fraud, maybe even embezzlement if she used HOA funds for this stunt. And you're not her first VY, Tim. 3 other homeowners came forward. Laura had targeted their properties too, changing locks or removing non-compliant items while they were away. Most settled quietly, scared off by her legal threats. Armed with security footage, the locksmith statement, he admitted Laura lied to him. HOA bank records showing she paid for the lock change. And VY Tim testimonies. We went back 3 days later with police and a court order. Laura answered the door and saw my bathrobe. Cool as ever until she saw the officers and Rachel. Her smugness evaporated as a detective read the warrant. Burglary, fraud, forgery, illegal occupancy. This is a mistake, she shrieked. I'm the HOA president. I was protecting property values. But the cuffs clicked on, and the neighbors watched, stunned, as she was led to a squad car, still ranting about lawsuits. I felt relief, but also a strange emptiness. This wasn't how I pictured coming home. The DA charged Laura with second-degree burglary, trespassing, forgery, fraud, and misusing HOA funds, all felonies. In court, her lawyer tried to spin it as her duty as HOA president, but the judge wasn't HOA-ing it. HOAs don't get to break into homes, he said. That's burglary, plain and simple. Laura took a plea deal, 18 months in prison, 5 years probation, and due law $80,000 in restitution to 7 VY Tims. As the gavel fell, her perfect facade cracked. She sobbed, shooting me a look of pure venom as officers led her away. I was just enforcing the rules, she whispered, like she still didn't get it. That night, the HOA board kicked her out as president. Willow Creek started healing, but Laura's chaos left scars. The woman who'd ruled our streets with petty fines and power trips was now just a felon with no control at all. What do you think, did Laura deserve her punishment? Or was she just a control freak who got in over her head? Should HOAs have any power over private homes? And how far would you go to protect your property? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if this story got your blood pumping, and subscribe for more wild tales.